Good afternoon, Daniel Miller here. How is everybody doing? Today we are going to be looking at Halo Infinite, a technical beta preview, especially given to us Xbox insiders have a privileged access to the game and its multiplayer with all the niceties that it has to offer. That includes customization as well as very many other things that we can try before the game is released later in the year. Before we get into Halo Infinite and we look at the details, give you a full introduction, I'm going to be telling you a bit about the channel and what's been happening here of late. First of all, you will know that I'm on my summer break, and in the course of this year my summer break is going to be a bit longer than usual. There are various reasons as to why that is. I'm fairly tied up with some of the commitments, and generally I felt that we had reached a crescendo with some of our recent streams, and I'm waiting for Destiny Beyond Light, Destiny 2 or Destiny sequel, Destiny Universe, to be given a free, I should say a full cross-platform access, and this is expected to be happening with the launch of the new season towards the end of August, 24th of August I think the date is, and then we are going to be going back to our regular Destiny streams and all that Destiny can offer. On that note, I can obviously tell you that I've been doing a lot of Season of the Splicer and had a lot of success, both with the Battle Pass, many quests, as well as all the niceties that Bungie had given us, loads of lengthy grinds, and presently we are still doing Solstice of Heroes armor. I managed to get to the Majestic level, which means I'm not tied down to the last few days with the lengthy grinds of dungeon raids, Grandmaster Nightfall and all the other ones, which actually do require a full team input, and we need other people to participate in order to complete. That's the full, that's the whole idea. behind the lengthy grinds, you know, to get that wonderful whitish glow on your Solstice of Heroes armor. And this is what I will be doing in the course of the next few weeks. We have Sekapupu and Spares who will be joining us outside of our regular streams in order to grind, in order to get some of the niceties and hopefully complete all that is on offer. So very excited about two things really as far as Destiny is concerned. First of all, having a full cross-platform access, something I've been fighting for right from the beginning, because I think for the games like Halo and Destiny it is absolutely critical you can access the game from any platform, and therefore you can be indeed expanding on the community membership. You can make many new friends, and we've seen really with my 2-year Destiny 1 streams how difficult it was for people to squad up if they were on a separate platform, and that definitely was not something we wanted to see. And as you know, Microsoft and all the other platforms are gearing towards a full cross-platform access, which is the future, and Microsoft is the leader within the industry that is pursuing this particular very expensive direction. And that means that games like Destiny are going to be accessible on any device. So if you're sitting in a park, you can pull out your Stadia, your Android, your iPhone, and basically hook up and crack on with all the other guys who are at home doing it on the PCs and consoles. So that's the future. How it's going to work on a technical side of things remains to be seen. I'm not exactly sure, but certainly very, very hopeful and very encouraged by all I've heard so far. We've done some tests. I've been testing the Android phone access on xCloud for some time now, and I have to tell you it works really well on the latest generation phones. If you are a proud owner of the older gen phone, it is not going to work. You will have to get a new phone because the processing power and the internet speeds are simply not good enough for that new technology. And sadly, I can also say that even on my home broadband here, which I have, some of the games do not perform too well because the system keeps telling me that the speed is too low or too slow, meaning that you will require very fast fiber access on Wi-Fi if you are to be playing the very best of those games. In addition to that, you may want to be using 5G network. Make sure that for the games like Destiny Gears of War, you are going to be topping up your gigabytes and your allowance on the internet side of things, because otherwise you may be sustaining massive charges from your high-speed operator. Make sure you have a lot of that properly set up, because the games are going to be burning up a lot of bandwidth, and particularly those that delivered in 4K high quality graphics. But I tested it on fiber and worked perfectly. I think for myself, the best games that I enjoyed most were those that are really like small platformers and adventure games where you didn't have to be using your controller. You can use your touch controls, and story-driven narrative type of games, similar to what you would do in any case on your mobile phone gaming apps and various other titles that presently offer. So all of that is basically the future. So cut and stay short, we are very excited about, first of all, Destiny going cross-platform. We'll have all of our PlayStation, Xbox and PC community joining in on the first day, so that's absolutely terrific. We look forward to it, and I have several people, Destiny veterans, who are doing the glass raid, the raid that's been imported recently from the old game, and the community will be growing. We are going to have a lot more fun, and it is just looking very rosy, very bright in the future. The next thing is we are going to have an introduction, which is going to be delivered in a form of special presentation by Bungie, and as well as Vidoc, and some gameplay of the next expansion. Well, the next expansion has not been confirmed date-wise yet. We expected it to be given to us in November, but Bungie have been delaying the dates, and that is to do, first of all, with a full cross-platform access. They want to allow at least 6 months for that to be fully tested, to see whether there are glitches or any other problems, which are likely initially within the first few weeks or couple of months. And then we'll be obviously introduced to the new concept, the new narrative, all that is to follow, which is obviously hotly anticipated. So very excited about both things. So that is as far as the Destiny streams here are concerned. Next thing is related to Warzone. Warzone we hammered quite a lot with our regulars. We had a lot of success, but I have to say I did have some words of concern coming in from a number of participants, and this was really, I guess, highlighting the fact that Warzone is a highly competitive game, and the atmosphere and the environment that the elimination stroke the path to the winning team is actually creating clashes with some of the other games that we have been streaming here. I was very surprised because I thought we had a very, very good, very laid-back, family-friendly environment, but there were viewers who were pointing out that some of the participants, some of the regulars, and some of the randoms were pursuing a very hardline competitive direction, and that's something that I do not want to see here on my channel. Certainly, as we are running it as a channel that's open and to everyone, it's all inclusive. Does really offer forums for people who are suffering from illness and disabilities and various other issues. We want it to be really as friendly as possible without any form of competition, judgment, or anything that comes together with competitive shooters. We're not really an esports channel. We do not really endorse any of it. And I was a bit sad to receive some of this news. Already I've given it a break for a little while for things to calm down and for us maybe to, I guess, rehash the idea. I really tried to do both Apex and Warzone as much as I could with the regulars, and I think certainly with Warzone we've had a selection of maybe up to 20 people who were featuring on the channel almost on an everyday basis, and that's been really absolutely wonderful. But not everyone was on the same level, if you know what I mean, in terms of their own mindset. Some people were pursuing it as a game for fun and for all that we are usually doing in here, and there were some people who were pursuing it in order to gain scores, and I think I will have to be perhaps a bit more selective in terms of what people are bringing in to my live broadcast, because obviously this is a channel that is attached to both Xbox and PlayStation ambassadorship, and we want everyone to feel fully included. And as you've seen in recent months, certainly during the COVID pandemic, many users of Twitch and YouTube have been highlighting the degree of unpleasantries that have been featuring on some of the channels, and a lot more is presently being done by those corporations in order to basically stamp out on any of it, because we do not want to have anyone interfering with the actual enjoyment of gameplay. Obviously you can play Warzone, which is an adult game, 18+ game, in a family-friendly format with a lot of snappy, funny, witty comments, and a lot of pleasant, family-friendly environment that comes from the mindset of the gamers, and therefore we really want to keep it that way. So we are coming to the most hotly anticipated game of a decade, Halo Infinite, and you would have known from Bungie and from the advertising that we indeed have been looking at the betas and tests that were to be arriving to our shores earlier this year. They've been already delayed somewhat. They said that there were some needs for the multiplayer to be polished up and some work to be done on some of the technical issues. So this is the weekend where the game has been given to us, and indeed I have been testing it already since Friday. We did have a bit of an issue with some updates. Just to highlight you, if you're watching it on different platforms like for instance on PC or PlayStation, Halo presently, the technical beta is only available to a selected few, and generally these are people who are long-time Xbox insider stroke ambassador members, people who are using Xbox extensively, and people who are testing other products, other games, providing feedback, and I'm obviously one of these guys. So I was very, very happy to hear that 343 had given me the access, which in fact I thought perhaps was not going to be happening this weekend. We did hear that there will be access on other platforms as well in due course, so we need to see really when and how and what, but I think this weekend is dedicated to Xbox insiders and those who were obviously members of Xbox Game Pass and the same insider community, and therefore was able to download it to PC. So it's PC and Xbox that is providing us with the very best of experience, and I can't say I've hammered it. I'm not really generally that hot on very small maps, stroke death matches type of experiences. I really prefer tactical gameplay, which is what we've seen with the latest version of Apex and Warzone, obviously PUBG as well. But what I've seen so far on Infinite was similar to the Crucible, very small maps, and some of them are, I guess, providing you with a lot of cover, but it does seem to be very, very hectic, very relentless kind of activity you get in adrenaline, and it's thoroughly enjoyable. I need to say that once the game comes out, which I believe is at some point in November, we are going to be having the multiplayer offered free of charge. So it's going to be similar to the concept that Activision and Infinity Ward introduced with Warzone. The multiplayer, Halo Infinite multiplayer, will be free of charge for all. So people are going to be able to download it. They will not need to purchase the game, but the multiplayer will be drawing them to the game for various reasons. And the idea is that it's a taster for a community to come in, for different clans and groups to be built, and therefore eventually getting into the same arena of Halo community veterans like myself, for instance. I remember when I got my first Xbox, that was Xbox Original, and when I started playing Halo, we just got Halo Combat Evolved. It was just a wonderful experience. It was the first proper multiplayer experience on console compared to what I had on PlayStation previously, and it was a wonderful experience, which indeed was lasting for a number of years. And you did see in recent years, since the launch of Master Chief Collection, that all the old guys from the noughties were able to access their old gamer tags and then get back in the same community and hammer some of the missions in Halo Trilogy 1, 2 and 3 through the Master Chief Collection, offered through Xbox and obviously downloadable to anyone's PC. So the quality of the game has been massively enhanced with remastering and all of the add-ons. And you also had the option of doing it retro, the old way, or the brand new 4K remastered version, which obviously I played. And that basically is the direction that the makers of the game and Microsoft are pursuing. It's still proprietary to Microsoft. Don't forget, Halo will remain proprietary to Xbox and Game Pass. So for anyone who is a subscriber, you will have yet another reason to remain one, because on the first day, the day of its launch, you are going to be able to access literally the entire content, similar to Gears of War. You're going to be able to access the Ultimate Edition with extra customization, with all the other bits and pieces which will make the gameplay a lot more enjoyable. So I needn't tell you more about Halo. You obviously, if you're a veteran, if you're a gamer, you would have heard about the game. It's been around for 20 years, in fact, and we have been celebrating 20 years of Xbox together with Combat Evolved, Halo Combat Evolved, this year, and the celebration is carrying on. So if you're an Xbox gamer, you will know we are collecting extra quest points and various other kudos and niceties, accolades. All of that is coming our way as we are celebrating the second decade of this wonderful machine that's given us many hours of entertainment and community membership. I think what I really treasured about Xbox in the beginning was its interactivity and the fact that the machine was given to us in order to build communities, to play multiplayer, and to be seen as a kind of combination of console and computer. And I think we've gone down this route expressly, really, with the introduction of Game Pass and everything else, like for instance xCloud that Microsoft had introduced. So coming back to our wonderful new game, Halo Infinite, I'll tell you a bit more about what this game is about, and I need to tell you a bit more about the way the game was made, who's been involved, and what we are to be expecting once it comes out. So this is an upcoming first-person shooter developed by 343 Industries. If you were the original Halo veteran and a gamer, you will remember that the original series was produced by Bungie, the makers of Destiny. Lots of the original trilogy veterans, Halo 1, 2 and 3, had migrated to Destiny once the game came out in 2013. So definitely worth remembering that the 343 Industries took over. So there is a slightly altered direction compared to the original concept. And you've seen that Bungie have gone down the route of building the whole universe around the title and the characters in Destiny 2. Halo has not gone down this route as yet, but it definitely did keep its the overall environment of fighting arenas and being one of the very best multiplayers and first-person shooters ever created. I think that's exactly what the new installment is going to be giving us. So developed by 343 Industries and published by Xbox Game Studios for Windows, Xbox One and Xbox Series X and Series S. The 6th main entry to the Halo series and the 16th Halo game overall. Don't forget that 16 games is various other offshoots and various other games like Halo Wars and OSD and etc. This is the 6th installment that will follow the campaign, the actual base, the story missions and everything that was offered initially. So it continues the story of our favorite, the Master Chief, following Halo 5 Guardians. Unlike previous installments in the series, like I mentioned, the multiplayer in this instance is going to be free to play. And we have Joseph Staten, he is the director, and Pierre Hintz, his assistant. Nicolas Bouvier is the executive on the artist front. Writer is Paul Crocker. Composers are Gareth Croker, Curtis Schweitzer, and Joel Korolitz. Obviously part of Halo, and it's going to be released on Xbox One, Series X and S. Also, we are going to be able to access it on the older console, in addition to what is available with the latest version. So that's obviously very good news if you are still, like myself, in possession of your Xbox One X S. You are going to be able to download and play, and obviously if you have got the latest Series X OS console, you are going to be getting the 4K update with the graphics and everything else, and it will work perfectly. So as you know, the original idea was for Halo Infinite to be tied in with the release of the new Xbox console. So this was to be the proprietary game for the first time in 20 years of Microsoft's that would have been given together with Series X and S. Unfortunately, due to technical issues, due to COVID pandemic and various other problems, they had to postpone the date, and that's exactly what has happened. So the original release was for the November the 10th of 2020, but it's gone for another release in late 2021. We're not absolutely 100% sure what date this is going to be, and once we get it, obviously we'll tell everyone about it. According to Microsoft, Master Chief returns in Halo Infinite, the 3rd chapter of the Reclaimer saga, with his greatest adventure yet to save humanity. The storyline of Halo Infinite will be much more human, with the Master Chief playing a more central role than in Halo 5 Guardians. The E3 2018 trailer indicated that the story will be set on a Halo ring that has mysteriously suffered damage, and also showcased the design of Master Chief's MJ All-NIR armor, and that will return to a design similar to that seen in Halo 2 and Halo 3. So 343 Industries later confirmed that this Halo ring to be the installation of 07, also known as Zeta Halo. The Bansheed, I beg your pardon, the Banished, a violent, brute-led mercenary organization first in Halo Wars 2, will also appear as enemies. So anyone who is a veteran of the original games will remember the enemies from the sequel, which was Halo 2. Still absolutely wonderful to play, one of the most popular games in the series, and you can easily access it through Xbox on the Master Chief Collection. I have to say that the way they remastered it, the way they delivered it, is absolutely incredible. I mean, I absolutely loved it, and you have so many different options to pursue, you've got so many different things to collect. It's so advanced, and also if you're quite keen on the original versions, you can just click on the options button and you're being brought to the retro, and you basically can play the old retro version with all those new additional add-ons and everything else that was given to us. So really top-notch, unmissable. I would say for myself, if I'm looking at everything that's available on the Game Pass, I would obviously single out 3 titles immediately. Number 1 would be Halo the Master Chief Collection, number 2 would be Gears 5 Ultimate Edition, and number 3 would be Destiny 2 Online. I mean, if you really want to be spending thousands of hours on high quality video gameplay, then these are the titles you really need to approach and try, and you will not be bored or detached at any point, as these games have huge communities of gamers attached to any one of the titles, and it'd be very easy for you to find your core partners or fire teams and build new clans and enjoy the very best of video gaming. So Halo Infinite is being developed by 343 Industries with assistance from Skybox Labs, Spirosoft, The Coalition, that's the coalition that worked on Gears of War, Certain Affinity, and Atom Hawk. It will utilize the new Slipspace engine, and the story entered planning stages in 2015 and was referred to as Halo 6 at the time. If if you were following the stories, Halo Infinite had been kind of rechristened at a later date, so it was originally Halo 6 that we were all expecting. And in fact it is the 6th installment of the series, as far as the campaigns are concerned. Developers said that all of the scenes in the Halo Infinite trailer were running in the engine. Halo Infinite will feature split screen again in response to the backlash of its removal in the previous game. It is also planned to have a beta prior to its release. This is the one we are going to be doing today, described as an insider flight program. So originally announced as an Xbox One and Microsoft Windows title, Halo Infinite was confirmed to be a launch title for the next gen of Xbox consoles the following year at E3 2019. Development director Frank O'Connor stated in August 2019 that Halo Infinite was being built, so it plays and looks absolutely fantastic on Xbox One, but would have enhancements when played on Xbox Series X and S. I think that's the idea, which is still very much present, and I'm quite certain that if you are to be playing Halo Infinite on the Series X, the performance and everything else will be superior. Not to say that it will be much inferior on Xbox One, X and S, because the version that you are going to be using will be actually tailored to that particular console. Very, very good to see that Microsoft are not taking the direction that previously, 10 years ago, would have been more than apparent, where in fact you would need to buy a new console in order to play the new game. Well, that's not happening at the moment, and I think I applaud Microsoft absolutely for that, because obviously you're retaining the gamers database, and you're keeping all the veterans and people who still are in possession of the old console, and making sure that people have that choice, and everybody wants to be getting the latest console, but don't forget it's very expensive, and a lot of people are presently not at work due to the pandemic, and therefore it will take them a couple of years to save the money to get the new console. And evidently, if you are to be upgrading to X and S and you get all the updates, then the difference will be quite significantly remarkable and very, very visible. I need to tell you that Sekapupa and myself were testing the other day. Actually, we were grinding things in Destiny 2, and generally we play it on I'm playing it on Xbox Game Pass, full content there, and 4K remaster, and he's playing it usually on his PC. So when we come back to PlayStation, we played on the older version of Destiny, and it looked much inferior, I have to say. The graphics were not as bright or as sharp, and not as highly illuminated. One could notice the difference straight away after you obviously spent quite some time doing it on the superior platform. So, worth keeping in mind. It's not going to spoil your actual gameplay. It's just for us who are really kind of, I guess, technical minded, and I'm personally very, very keen on very high quality graphics, so it does make a big difference to me. So let me see, where are we? Originally announced as an Xbox One and Microsoft Windows title. Okay, we've seen that already. On July the 31st of 2020, it was announced that the game's multiplayer portion will be released as a free-to-play game. So on August the 27th of last year, 343 Industries announced that Joseph Staten, the former lead writer and cinematic director of the Halo series at Bungie, had joined as a campaign project lead for the Halo Infinite. So 343 Industries also announced that Joseph's role had changed to head of creative for Halo Infinite. On October 28, 2020, it was reported by Bloomberg that now former studio head Chris Lee had also departed from the project. So there have been quite a few personal changes, but that is not going to be affecting the actual gameplay quality. On December the 5th of 2020, Bruce Thomas, the mocap actor for Master Chief in Halo Infinite, stated in an interview, it is in the can and ready to go next spring. Soon after, on December the 8th, 343 Industries disclosed in a blog post that Halo Infinite would be released in late 2021. So if you're asking yourself a question, well, what's the reason for all those delays? Well, I can tell you, as a person who tested Warzone prior to its release, and also played it very extensively, both on Twitch, through Twitch platform, as well as on two separate consoles, there's a very big problem still with cross-platform access, and cross-platform for the games that are very highly taxing on the graphics, as it is the case with Anthem or this one or Gears of War. They will require really a lot of maintenance and a lot of high tech in order to maintain the performance which is required for 24/7 gameplay, and that is what basically 343 Industries wanted to polish up. They didn't want the game to have problems like Anthem or any other, where in fact the multiplayer would provide cross-platform access, crashes and delays and buffering and all else. You know how really disappointing this is. So very important for them to be testing up to a point that blue in the face and realizing that the game is ready to go. And I'm absolutely in favor of this. We've seen several launches in recent times. Anthem, Cyberpunk and Fallout 76 are amongst those, where everything backfired in major fashion because the companies were pressurized by the investors for an early game release, and just simply the game wasn't ready. And you do not want to have that sort of thing happening with Halo franchise for obvious reasons. So the game's not been ready, and it's likely that if they feel after our technical beta, which we're doing this weekend, also after all of our feedback, that things are not really quite as good as they should be, they will delay it again, and nobody will be angry because we want the new installments to be absolutely mind-blowing. Like I said, tell you, when you play these games, sci-fi games, open world games with fantastic visuals, beautiful graphics, and you're brightly illuminated on 4K, massive big screens, 60 plus screens, high quality headsets, you become so very much part of that world. You actually live in it. We have one member of our community who told me, I live in Destiny world. I don't actually go anywhere. I spend 20 hours a day, I'm exaggerating, I'm spending 12 hours a day living in the Destiny universe, and I'm absolutely in awe of everything that I'm seeing and hearing. Well, that's the next stage video gaming experience. That is what Phil Spencer and the guys at Xbox and Microsoft want to create, for everyone to be having that fully immersive experience. And Destiny and Fallout 76 and Red Dead Redemption, the games which are providing with this massive open world, are exactly like that. You're no longer just a bystander or an observer. You're an active participant together with your mates, running the show, talking, building your own social network around a particular title, and enjoying every minute of your day when you're there with your friends. That is the way it is going to be, and this game, Halo Infinite, is geared for that. So on December the 5th, okay, we've heard that already, on April the 17th, 2021, it was confirmed that series regular Jeff Steitzer will be back to voice the multiplayer mode announcer once again. A technical test for the multiplayer portion of the game ran from July the 29th to August the 2nd, and the select members of the Halo Insider program could complete in teams across 3 maps against bots in 4-4 Slayer mode. That's exactly what we're doing this weekend. The game will support both cross-platform play and cross-platform save progression between Xbox and Microsoft Windows versions. So if you're playing on PC, you'll be able to import your saves to your console, and everything will work perfectly. So remember that. Still, Halo is going to be Xbox proprietary type of game. It will not be shared on PlayStation or other platforms for the time being. In January 2020, Xbox Game Studios head Matt Booty confirmed that the studio had no immediate plans for Xbox Series X exclusives at launch, preferring to phase out compatibility with older hardware over a longer period similar to PCs. So development was afflicted by the COVID-19 pandemic, forcing developers to work from home, which indeed has been a major concern for everyone working in any of the larger game development companies. After the Xbox Game Showcase on July 23rd, 2020, 343 studio head Chris Lee stated that the public beta is unlikely due to the impact of the ongoing pandemic. So that's the reason as to why giving it to us first, so it's a smaller pool of Xbox insiders reviewing the game, providing the detailed feedback. The feedback is strictly confidential, so if you are one of the guys, please make sure that nobody can see online anywhere what you are really feeding back to the company, whilst the actual technical beta is accessible via Twitch and YouTube to everyone. So after the Xbox Game Showcase on July the 23rd of last year, studio head Chris Lee stated that a public beta is I keep repeating myself, goodness. So on August 11th of 2020, it was announced that the game had been delayed to an undefined date in 2021 due to a range of factors, which obviously are including the COVID pandemic affecting the development and the workforce because Microsoft initially planned to split the game into several parts, but ultimately decided against it. It was reported that 3/4 Industries heavily outsourced the game to external developers, resulting in development troubles, as was a contributing factor to the delay. Speaking to IGN, a spokesperson for 3/4 Industries denied that the Halo TV show had an impact on Halo Infinite's development, and they also said that the spokesperson did not speak to the report claim that a significant portion of the game is being outsourced to third-party contractors. Well, this is a very difficult hypothesis. You will know that many game developers will be resorting to the third-party contractors for obvious reasons, and I think we did see in Destiny 2, when released in its first year, that this was kind of visually apparent, and a lot of people complained. So consequently, we've had several planets vaulted, and we've had the old planets or the old maps brought in from Destiny 1, which were remarkably improved. The moon that you access in Destiny 2 is by far superior to what we've had in the original game. So I don't necessarily think that involving third-party contractors is of grave concern, unless one is trying to cut corners on the spending front and you're doing things on the cheap. That would be the only issue. Otherwise, if people are fully integrated, they could work as well as everyone else within the same company. A bit more about music. Infinite's music is a collaboration between Garrett Coker, Curtis Schweitzer and Joel Korolitz, overseen by 343 Industries music supervisor Joel Yager. And as you could hear, it is like really a beautiful, very easily recognized type of score that will be aligning this game with all the other titles in the franchise. At the Industry Exposition E3 2020, as the Industry Exposition E3 2020 was cancelled due to the pandemic, Microsoft revealed that the first gameplay footage of Halo Infinite via live stream on June 24th of 2020, which I watched live and was absolutely gobsmacking. The official Halo YouTube channel premiered a teaser called Signal Detected Tag Designation, which featured an audio clip of an anonymous character who represents the Banished, a faction introduced in Halo Wars 2. So among the merchandising tie-ins for the game is partnership with Monster Energy Drink. Well, I'm not really in favor of these drinks, but obviously they're investing in the game. Participants can earn a variety of in-game weapon skins, player nameplates and weapon emblems. That's very, very familiar with all the games that we are presently entertaining through online servers. Black Desert Online, Bless Unleashed, the well-known RPGs. Then you have obviously Warzone and Apex and PUBG, and this has become a new way through which the economic system of the video gaming works. You get offered the game for free, like Warzone, Apex, and you're purchasing all the other things there. I mean, just to put in perspective, for everyone who is new to the channel or new to the video gaming industry, within 12 months, Activision made $2 billion. So it's $2 billion on the sales of the cosmetics for Warzone alone. So think about it. They offered the game for free. The game was costing, I think, about $250 to $300 million to make, and they made $2 billion in 1 year sale of the cosmetics. Just think about it. It's unbelievable revenue just on the cosmetics. Not including the figure did not include sales of other games like Modern Warfare or other Call of Duty titles in the franchise. Absolutely astonishing. But that's definitely the way it is today, and it works. And I think it's fair. There are also several augmented reality experiences through Snapchat as part of this promotion, coinciding with Infinite's gameplay. Reveal was a trailer, Step Inside, produced by 215 McCann, and the video spot showing Master Chief's armor being made was the kickoff to a wider campaign which is called Become. So following the gameplay reveal for Halo Infinite on July the 23rd of 2020, publications and audiences expressed disappointment over the graphics and performance. Eurogamer wrote that Halo Infinite looks like the fake plastic trees version of Halo, like a video game designed with mega blocks in mind, which just pops in all the wrong places. It doesn't feel grounded, doesn't feel like it has depth. It feels, well, surface level, smooth and interesting. Aaron Greenberg, great general manager of Xbox Marketing, responded in an interview with Inside Gaming, saying, well, we're in the middle of a global pandemic. It's July. We are very far from the actual launch. and you're seeing principally a work in progress game. He said that the final game would be a visual showcase. 343 Industries said that the game would receive a free ray tracing update post-launch. Narrative experience director Dan Kozik tweeted, "I want you to know your voice matters. It's heard. Always want to live up to the legacy that Bungie pioneered. I personally care a lot about honoring all of that." A screenshot of the gameplay showing a brute with a deadpan expression given the moniker Craig by internet commentators became an internet meme embraced by 343 Industries community director John Junizek. I just want to elaborate on this a bit. I have come across such reviews frequently in recent years, and I personally feel that these reviews are detestable. I absolutely disagree with this. First of all, a company like 343 Industries or Bungie are offering us a kind of a VIP privileged access to a game that is presently still in development. So why on earth are you criticizing the game which is still not fully ready? Do not focus on the quality graphics, because the graphics will be significantly improved as we go along. What you need to focus on is the actual quality of gameplay. Because if they're offering us, like for instance here with Halo Infinite, a technical beta of multiplayer, it is not that important for us to be seeing razor sharp 4K graphics. What's important is that the multiplayer with cross-platform access functions perfectly, so there are no major glitches, no major crashes, honestly, some of the younger guys, I mean, where are you from? Like, how many games have you played? Honestly, it's just absolutely ridiculous to come up with such comments. Because I've seen both the concept art and I've seen some of the proprietary materials given to us by 343 Industries. They're incredible. What you do see also is that the concept is aligned with Halo overall. So when you look at the pictures like what we're watching on our screens right now, you instantly recognize the Halo universe. So actually, it's in a split second. Well, this is Halo universe. That's exactly what it is. This is what's happening. This is where we are. This is our Master Chief. That is exactly what we want to do. We do not want to be divorced from the trademark that's been part and parcel of Halo. And as I said, graphics can be significantly enhanced as we go along. But the gameplay, the cross-platform multiplayer, is of essence, and that's the sole reason as to why we are testing the game. So, I mean, I've just talked to some of our community members during this week, and we were discussing Outriders, a game that I consider to be almost a masterpiece. Absolutely terrific. Comprises about 3 or 4 of my favorite games: Mass Effect, Anthem, Destiny, and Gears of War included. So I have no idea what problems people had, and I really have no idea what the comments and views were prior to the game release, because I have seen so many negative reviews given to the developer as the demo was released, and the same type of undertones were followed through religiously with the release of the game. I tested the game Outriders both on PlayStation and on Xbox, and I did see that the demo was having some issues, particularly with the multiplayer, and the graphics did not seem to perform too well on, let me think whether it was on Xbox or on one of the consoles. There was a problem. Yeah, it was on PlayStation. But then once we heard that, I lost the sound. I don't know what's going on. Once just bear with me a second. Oh yeah, there it is. Once I've heard from Microsoft that they are going to be embracing the game through Xbox Game Pass platform, I knew that the graphics will be greatly enhanced. So the difference between the demo and its quality visuals and what we had later on the Game Pass release was very significant. The gameplay was smooth, the graphics were 4K, everything looked really dense. Obviously, you still can have some minor concerns about the lip syncing and maybe the way the characters came across with the facials. This company, People Can Fly, does not have the same revenue as Bungie, and they had to really, consider the budget at the time. But the overall experience of Outriders is incredible. It's a wonderful game, and all the reviews are saying that the game was incredibly short. It's nonsense if you are playing the game as you should, by opening up the dialogue with all the characters who you meet in the arena, and if you're doing expeditions and hunts and all other sorts of things which game has to offer, you'll spend hundreds of hours. I actually read on Reddit somebody was playing the game already for about 600-700 hours, and they wanted to be getting a particular helmet or a bit of kit, and they said that they were never bored for a split second. They did it together with other guys. It was thoroughly enjoyable. You will know from, if you played Outriders, from the battle sequences, they're absolutely high octane, they're absolutely top notch, very similar to those in Anthem. And if you're an FPS dedicated fan, you are going to be just simply loving the game. You know, some minor glitches aside, it's just a wonderful, wonderful product, and a game that has massive potential for DLC and for expansions, as well as maybe for section that will be delivered as PvP. You know, it's sky high, basically the limit's sky high, and I really look forward to hearing and seeing a lot more from the developer. I love the game. I mean, I've played already probably more than 100 hours, and I'm still not finished the basic campaign. I'm doing everything, talking to every single character, and that's the way these games need to be played. So I want to see the same sort of thing here with Halo. And don't forget, Halo is not a kind of a story-driven RPG like some of the other games, like Mass Effect. It does have a good story, which is easy to follow, but it does focus on combat and the FPS skills has always been its bread and butter. And as we will see very shortly as we crack on with the Academy, we are calibrating weapons and trying them out before we get into the multiplayer. So there's you know, quite a lengthy tutorial and quite a few things that we can do in order to master our skill, like for instance how to target highly mobile enemies, what to do if you have multiple enemies attacking you and they're highly mobile, what weapons to use, etc, etc. All of that is basically part and parcel of Halo Infinite. I really want to just remark on these terrible reviews. I think you have huge competition out there amongst the developers, and I really have a serious problem with every reviewer who has not really experienced the game in the way which you would call proper. And I did see that with Anthem, with Cyberpunk, with Fallout 76, with Red Dead Redemption, with Outriders. The list just goes on and on and on. One game where I did not see that, like I've not seen a single officially written review that would be like negative or raising eyebrows, was for The Last of Us 2. Every one of the reviews was 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, extraordinary. I mean, I've not played the game, so I mean, obviously watched clips and watched some of the other people's streams. Was introduced to the game at Infogamer a little while back, and it's just curious, isn't it? Like, for that game, not a single bad review, officially written review I'm talking about. There are lots of bad reviews on Metacritic, but that was coming from you know, smaller hubs and blogs and individual sources, rather than IGNs or you know, Game Radars of the world. Whilst for the other, for Outriders, there was enormous amounts of negativity. In fact, it didn't work, because the guys who love sci-fi and people who are into FPS embraced the game, enjoyed it, bought it, and still are playing it. And on Reddit and Twitter, Outriders was and still is one of the most popular sci-fi multiplayer shooters that we would have seen in recent years. So you could see the attempt to ruin the success of the game absolutely failed, because at the end of the day, the success of any game will be down to the gamers. You know, you can be trying to force feed the idea or the concept of the graphics. If people don't like it, people just don't like it, and it's as simple as that. And you need to listen to the community, and that's exactly what the team from 343 Industries indeed had said and displayed as they've heard some of those views. Although I believe the views were ill-conceived and, you know, not justified. Eurogamer is one of my favorite hubs. They have absolutely terrific writers, and generally they write articles that are very in-depth and very thorough. But I did come across a few, even written by some of the editors, that I absolutely disagreed with. On the other hand, nothing wrong with that. You know, it's full democracy. We can all have our different views. But I just think that we're jumping gun. And I've heard from some of my colleagues who work in affiliate industries that under huge pressure to review very many games within a very short period of time. As you know, sometimes you have a season of AAA big new releases, and they will have to play all these games within a very short period of time, provide in-depth reviews, and sometimes they have no time. They don't manage to do everything, and I think this is not doing the justice either to the developers or to the readers, because ultimately we are no longer in an era of glossy magazines. When I was in my youth, I had to buy a glossy magazine to read all the reviews and get knowledgeable. Today people review games on online hubs and social networking, and you will find that the vast majority of punters and enthusiasts will maybe read Eurogamer or Games Radar, but they will still resort first of all to see what is said on Reddit or Twitter. And if they see that the overwhelming feedback coming from the punters on Halo Infinite is extremely positive, which indeed is the case this weekend, then they will be very hot and very up for it, and they'll go and buy the game. And they will be just using the articles to back up what the other gamers had said, because don't forget, in the old days we couldn't really connect with other gamers so easily as we can today, and that's basically the backbone of all of these community-based activities. And today we obviously want to talk to others and want to get recommendations, and I can tell you from my community, which is very large and spread across 3 platforms, I always get fantastic recommendations. They may be differing views. You will get somebody who will tell you didn't really like Fallout 76, but it does have sort of incredible elements. Be like really very thorough with their description and analysis, and therefore the information that I'm getting from my participants here on the channel and the community members is always spot on. So that's absolutely wonderful. Anyway, what we'll do is we'll wrap up our introduction and then we'll crack on with some action. There isn't actually that much action for me to display. There's just a few maps, and we are just testing a group of 4. These are the guys coming in from other Xbox consoles, joining me within my team, and then fighting bots. And as you will see, fighting bots is always extremely difficult because the bots are much superior in every way. And it's interesting that I played quite a few matches yesterday, and we never lost a single match. Not a single one lost. All were victories. But you know what? The victory was always like 2 points difference. 48 versus 50. 50 versus 49. And that sort of thing looked like a really tight score literally throughout the game. So it's done up a bit, but nevertheless quite enjoyable. Very, very hectic, as you will see. Anyway, in October 2020, 343 Industries announced changes to the player color system in Infinite, replacing a system of primary and secondary colors in past Halo games with coatings based on layers of patterns and markings designed to enable greater player expression. 343 plans to make coatings available through microtransactions as well as rewards for purchasing timed products such as Monster Energy drinks. That's a new partnership that they have. Do not drink many of those Monster Energy drinks if you're playing PvP. Very, very damaging for your health. Mondelez branded snacks and other items, the plan was received negatively, with fans and critics expressing concern about the impact of such newly invented microtransactions. Unishack defended the system, stating that it enabled greater detail and variation, and that the other methods of obtaining coatings would be made available as special rewards in addition to paid purchases. In March 2021, Pringles introduced an exclusive Walmart chip purporting to taste like a creature from Halo Reach as a marketing tie-in. Well, these are obviously some of the latest news on the marketing strategies, and I think as we go across platform, we include Stadia and mobile phones into the full arena, we are likely to be having these kinds of partnerships emerging, because don't forget, the way sponsorships work is entirely on free, easy, multiple access at all times, 24/7, and that's exactly what these companies need. I think if it does enhance the earnings for the developer, it will be seen as alright, but then we also want to have much greater resources selected for various works to be completed as far as such big AAA titles are concerned. We want the developers to be investing properly rather than just scooping up profits through a variety of different external sources. Whether it will work and how it will work remains to be seen, because I can certainly tell you from my experience of microtransactions, and certainly the way my community and people who I know reacted, they're just generally very, very unpopular. You will be wanting to buy certain packs and certain items if they are complementing the gameplay or enhancing your social interactivity. As you've seen in Warzone, purchasing certain outfits, such as for instance the one of Leatherface that our friend Spurs had, made us actually make the first contact, because I spotted his Leatherface as we were in the lobby, and we immediately carried on with friendship and became really very closely attached to our community. And it was a way through which I was introduced to Spurs. It was entirely down to the microtransactions, i.e. he purchased the pack with Leatherface drew my attention, not just my attention of all the other gamers as well. And this is a good way through which you can connect with your friends, draw attention, and build your own community. So that's like the best way of using it. And you will not be buying all the packs in there. Just select a few that really are suited and tailored to your taste, and you will obviously apply those to your gameplay. On the other hand, if you're looking at somebody purchasing monster drinks, energy drinks, and various snacks, it's just it's on a different level. It's purely monetary, and we need to see what the community is going to say. Anyway, so these are all the news about. I've got Tonzak in here. I do apologize, Tonzak. I have been reading all the information that I have on Halo, and I was not able to see your messages as they came in. I want to say hello to Tonzak, and how are you, sir? How is your health? Are you recovering well? Is everything okay? Be very, very curious to hear how everything is down under. In fact, Sekapupa and myself talked about you the other day in our gaming sessions. So we played Destiny 2, remembered all of our adventures in Destiny 1. And Tonzak's still here, saying hello and saying that he's fine and thank you. Well, we were obviously very, very concerned about your health, and we indeed are very glad to hear that you're doing well and that everything is alright. And as we know, during the time of the pandemic, many people suffered, not just through the COVID pandemic, through COVID as the virus, but also through various other health conditions and issues. And it's just truly devastating to learn that some of our community members are also affected by other health issues. So I'm certainly wishing you all the very best and hoping that your recovery is swift and most complete. I wish obviously for your health to get back to its full strength, and that you'll be able to join us very frequently and carry on with our community-based membership and gameplay. You asked about the game. This game is Halo Infinite, and Halo Infinite I'm doing technical beta test this weekend together with other Xbox insiders. We are looking at technical issues, or the way the cross-platform system works on the new system, which is going to be accessible to the gamers free of charge, similar to Warzone and Apex. And we are going to crack on with some action very, very shortly, very, very similar to the Crucible. Small maps, really proper deathmatch type of activity, and I didn't really have the benefit of many weapons within the actual arena, albeit I could pick up some weapons which the enemy will drop, as you will see. So we'll have a look at that. Let me take a very short break. My throat and my voice is playing up, and I'll be back in literally a couple of minutes, and then we'll be looking at some fierce action here in Halo Infinite. First of all, we'll be looking at our character, the Master Chief. After that, we'll look at the Academy, which is like a tutorial on how to use your weapons, and then we'll jump in and do some multiplayer. So just stay with us. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Alright my friends, I'm back. I had to have a short break because I really have, it's not really a sore throat, I've got something in my throat today. I woke up with some sort of swelling and it really feels very, very uncomfortable. It's really annoying that it would happen today, like on the day where I was intending to do my Halo Infinite introduction. So I have to be drinking lots of grapefruits with, you know, hot water and honey and everything else to remedy it. I need to see later. I'll go for a quick COVID test just to see that I didn't catch the virus, because here in Britain we have this Delta variant which is very, very fast spreading and very, very dangerous. But I've been vaccinated twice and hopefully I'm fully protected. Might be just some sort of irritation that's been bothering me since I woke up, and very difficult to do the introduction because my voice is suffering as a result. And let me see, we have Jaden in here. Hello Jaden, how are you doing? Good to see you, thank you for joining us, really good to see you. And Donzak said also that this is the latest installment of Halo. Well, this is just a technical preview. It's a technical preview beta, and it's been given to a small number of Xbox insiders, myself included, to test it during this weekend. We have 3 days, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, with limited hours, in order to test the multiplayer. We're basically testing the way cross-platform is the way the multiplayer is performing here, and they have people who are entering the arena from PCs, because obviously if you are on Xbox you can download some of the games. This is one of those, and they're combining that with the other guys on consoles. We don't have Stadia or PlayStation or anything else included in cross-platform for these reasons, because this is a proprietary game to Microsoft. And Jaden is asking, is this game available for Xbox Series X? This game will be available once released for Xbox One series, the old gen, as well as for the Series X and S, the new gen. It will be compatible to both generations of consoles, and you are going to be able to buy it and download it accordingly. Meaning, if you purchase the game for Xbox One, the old gen, you will be automatically given the upgrade once you migrate to the new console free of charge. So there will be no extra charge at all. And it's similar to what you have here on Xbox with backward compatibility. If you swing from, let's say, Xbox One X and S to Series S and X, you are getting automatic updates which are providing you with high quality graphics, enhanced performance and everything else for almost every single title that Xbox had ever released. Not the full catalogue, but they're getting there. They've been introducing so many games to backwards compatibility, so really absolutely astonishing to see. And for myself, I absolutely hated the old days where I had to be repurchasing the same game 2 or 3 times. You know, that time's gone really, as far as the Xbox consumers and gamers are concerned. All the games will be fully backward compatible, and if you own one of those consoles, you just need to stick your disc in and then crack on after you downloaded the update. On the other hand, I think ever since we were on Xbox One, the preferred method of purchasing has been directly through the Microsoft service, so you get a digital product and therefore it's accessible on any platform for wherever you are. And that is also the new thing that is going to be accessible through xCloud, right? So a subscriber to Xbox Game Pass, you get free xCloud access, meaning all that information can be accessed through a mobile phone as well. Still in its beta phase, it's not fully functional, but it's performing really well. So, Donzak says, yeah, Xbox Series X, and not sure whether available on Windows 10. It will be available on Windows 10, yes, because it's also a Microsoft product. it is going to be accessible through Windows and Xbox, and also for anyone who is a proud owner of one of those Xbox consoles, they are going to be able to download it to their PC if they purchase the game on Xbox. If you see what I mean, there will be no need for them to be purchasing it for Windows 10 as well as for Xbox. Just easily download it from the console to your PC. And Jaden says, for a second I thought this game was resting in peace since 2014. Not really. No. Halo has had a bit of rethink on how the series should be run, because it does have some serious competitors out there, Destiny being obviously the major one, and particularly the fact that the original Halo developer, Bungie, developed Destiny, and they've sold the rights to 343 Industries, another company that carried on with the franchise. So the new one, the one we are watching on our screens today, Halo Infinite, is the 6th installment in the series and the 16th installment in the franchise. So it's the 6th installment as far as the campaigns and the story are concerned, and therefore they felt there was a lot more need to spend a lot more time to basically build a game from scratch and come up with a concept that will not be repetitive. Because Halo doesn't have a story which is as strong as the one in Mass Effect, let's say, or in Elder Scrolls. And therefore it is very much dependent on a kind of a linear, proper storytelling and a lot of fierce, high-octane action. And I think that's exactly what they were working on. Also, they said their overall feeling was the tech wasn't as well developed 5 years ago to suffice really the ideas they had. Like, for instance, Bungie was struggling with this with Destiny. You will know that they said recently that it's only literally today that the tech's reached a stage where they feel they can do a lot more like what they originally wanted 8 or 9 years ago with Destiny, well, 10 years ago, beginning to create this thing. And that's just one of the issues that pops up. Alright, so without further ado, we talked a lot about Halo and all else that is Halo related. We'll have a bit of a demonstration here on what is on offer. We are also testing the new system of their Battle Pass. You see it there on the top right corner. It's automated, and if you are one of the guys who's testing the game, you will be given a lot of credits automatically as you log in, and then very quickly you could purchase the Battle Pass for nothing because you're testing it. And then it's all automated. You have challenges, you have rewards, and the usual sort of stuff like that. Also Apex. It's part and parcel of all of those online service-based games today. It seems to be working really well. So the first thing we'll do in here, first of all, we can have a look at customization. So you have Master Chief, right? So if you look at, for instance, the weapons, they look absolutely astonishing. They're beautifully designed, they're magnified, you can rotate them, you can do all sorts of things, right? So you click on our call, and you can see that this is your Master Chief, right? So I've already given him the distinct green outfit. But what's interesting is you can expect him. So for instance, if you are looking at the way he is, you can just enable certain outfits. When you do that, you go to modding, click on mod, you get all these mods, you see. So for instance, if I wanted to get this one, I've got several that have been unlocked. So let me see, which one do I prefer? I prefer this one. Aviator had been given to me yesterday as a Battle Pass reward, so we'll keep this one. But otherwise, as you carry on with the Battle Pass, you can just unlock any that you like. I'm not sure at this stage whether it will be fully modded as you purchase it later in the game for the campaign missions. Like in Destiny, once you get your armor, you can be purchasing mods. And I think really Bungie had evolved from the original concept in the right direction, and we really are thoroughly enjoying the mods that are present there for our Destiny characters and our armor. And it really makes a lot of sense that when you're entering certain activities, certain types of mods need to be enabled and certain types of weapons need to be used. So it makes the game a lot harder to learn and a lot more interesting to play. So this modification is basically for anything. But in this instance, we are looking primarily at what our Master Chief has. Let me just see again, armor kit, because this is basically, this is helmet, this is visor, right? Then you have chest, then you have left shoulder, then you have right shoulder, gloves, you have wrist, you have hip, knee pads. Let me see, something right shoulder. Yeah, you can just adjust it accordingly. You know, these ones are still locked, so I can't really use them. It's the usual sort of thing, like you would expect with high quality games. And then we can look at weapons bench. So I have loads of different weapons, look really lovely and beautiful. Battle rifle, AK-78 Commando, sniper. Look at that sniper, looks awesome. Bulldog, Hydra, and the list goes on and on. So let me just see, weapons bench, weapons kit. So you can obviously change colours. I quite like blue. Looks good. The other ones are locked in any case. So the usual sort of stuff, and I think they probably are likely to be giving us a very, very advanced system of customization. So we'll be able to do everything similar to Warzone and Destiny, because you know all these developers are basically resorting to the same concept. They're all on the same page, comparing their games to anything else that they can see in the industry. They don't want to be falling out with something that will appear to be a bit uninteresting or not as advanced. So we have vehicle bay, you get vehicles, you can customize them as well. Well, this is the most popular vehicle in Halo, used it many times, Warthog, and there we are. So if you want to customize, I don't think I can, because I haven't got anything else, not unlocked anything. I did see on Twitter that quite a few writers who are kind of dedicated to Halo and Destiny said they're really hooked on the multiplayer. They really played it 24/7 since Friday. I didn't find it that exciting, I must admit. The reason for that is I'm not that keen on death matches, but there is an element of wanting to acquire as many mods as possible when you're doing the technical beta. So that's exactly what they were doing, obviously hammering it with the matches and collecting as much of that loot as possible, i.e. unlockables. Body and AI, you can have a look at. Really good weapon in there as well. So if you're looking at Master Chief, let's say you want to have prosthesis, and you can have a look, for instance. See that? So here's a bit different. Looks like a proper war veteran then. Actually, I'll keep him as simple as possible, so that he will be very similar to our original Halo Combat Evolved Master Chief, the one that we indeed remembered from the old days. And then with color, you have that Promethean in there, his AI, and I've gone for the orange. These colors are a bit bright for my liking, but nevertheless. Presentation, we can't access presentation, so that's the customization as offered for this technical beta. If you're interested in what happens with your battle pass, you click on Y, and then you will get all of those different types of weekly and daily challenges. Land grab, dogged determination, full commando, killing enemies, enemy Spartans with commando rifles. So, you know, very similar to what we are used to from other online games. And as you carry on, obviously the battle pass in here is giving us season progress as well. So I've gone from nil to 2 for tomorrow, and rewards by leveling your battle pass with XPs from complete challenges. Visor Rampant is, I think, the reward that we'll be getting once completed. And it's fairly simple in here. And let's see. That's the next reward. Need extra 400 XP, so I'll obviously get that as we carry on. And then we have the Halo Infinites, which is the next reward. Need extra 400 XP. So that's the next reward. Need extra 400 XP. So I'll obviously get that as we carry on. Right, so that's the customization more or less, and that was our battle pass. You go to shop. Shop is similar to what we have in Destiny. You can just look at all these different items and then purchase them. So for the purpose of this presentation, we are going to be purchasing something, right? Have 2550 currency. So let's purchase something that will be instantly visible. Tahuna Sands. That's quite good. So what you do is, as you obviously would in any other game, you just purchase this. Now, purchase in progress. We got it, and we'll equip it. Okay, so we've got the Tahuna Sands outfit fully equipped. Go back to customize. Play. All. And as you could see, our Master Chief looks significantly different. So I quite like him, the way he looks at the moment. So I'll take a screenshot of this. My personal benefit. That's really very good. Jaden was asking about the color of the outfit. Yeah, I mean basically highly customizable outfit. I have to say, when I'm looking at it, it is reminding me a bit of Anthem. Anthem does have some of the most sophisticated customization I have ever seen in video gaming. If you play the game, you will know it. You can literally customize every single scratch on your outfit. It is extraordinary. So anyone who is into customization and want to build really funky looking outfits, Anthem is probably the game that's offering the most advanced type of version of customization I've ever seen. But this is looking similar as well, because he's on this pedestal and he's turning around on his platform, and in Anthem you have very similar sort of things. I'm not sure whether the game will be as detailed once fully released, but this is just for the purpose of technical beta, technical test, and I think it's a lot simpler compared to what we are to be expecting once the game is fully released. But looking very good. As you can see, from bright green, the usual Master Chief, we turn him into this Mark 7 rare armor core that I just purchased from the battle pass. So that's looking good. Alrighty, so let us just have a look. And so that was the shop. So it's fairly simple. Battle pass we already purchased. This is what we've got. We need to get that visor. I think that's the idea. We'll probably get it as we carry on with some gameplay. Okay, so play and customization. We'll go to Academy. Okay, so when you go to Academy, it's like a tutorial, and it is obviously best advice for everyone to go through weapon drills, because you can really customize every one of the weapons. M40AR is the main weapon in the game, and you'll be familiar with it if you played the Halo series. So we'll have a look at this. As you can see, I've been toying with it quite a bit yesterday, and you basically go to the ranges and then you calibrate your weapon. So we'll see how it works. It's quite good. The first mission, the first thing that you do, the task is to be shooting enemies that are remote. So that's quite easy. And then the other two lots are mobile enemies. As you will see, that is significantly more difficult. And it's very important for everyone to be so you basically load your weapon. Aim for the head. Load all the time. See? Not reload. Lag's not going to be big enough. Well, yesterday I had a voiceover that was telling me what to do. Today we're not having it, so it must be the update overnight that's changed it. So I'm surprised. Alright, we'll try to excel with this one because we didn't really do too well in there. Remember, what you need to do is fire the action, reload. That's most important. So we'll try to better it this time. up. Reload. Reloading basically as the characters walking up. You probably had 3 stars. There you are. So we basically calibrated the weapon, challenge mastered. That's basically what it is, right? So, guess what? The second one's a bit more tricky. The enemies are highly mobile, they're not remote. And, oh, Sonny's there! Hello, Sonny, how are you, sir? Hi, it's going well, it's going well. I'm doing this wonderful Halo Infinite technical test, technical beta this weekend. And I'm doing a short presentation of what the beta is offering, because beta is accessible just to a very few number of people who are part of Xbox Insider program and also Xbox ambassadors, and I was obviously very glad to have been selected to be one of those, because other people can't access it anywhere. They can just watch it on Twitch, you know, from platform, well, basically if anyone like myself is streaming it. And Halo Infinite, one of the most highly anticipated games of the decade, so very excited about it. And Dozak says beta's better. yeah, absolutely. Well, this beta is performing generally very well, but I have to say I can see some changes today compared to yesterday, because when we went to the ranges we had you know, like a superior who was basically double checking all that we were doing, the voiceovers. Today we are not having it for some reason, not sure why. Obviously they removed this because it could have caused some problems with aiming. And so, you know, obviously game in progress, beta in progress, but altogether all good fun. Hi, you Sunny, how are you doing? Sunny's asking, when is this game going to be released? Well, the game, it's not clear as yet whether they'll release it at Christmas, because the game was planned for a full release with the new Xbox console last year, but they pulled out literally a few weeks beforehand, because they realized that the multiplayer didn't really work properly, and they needed a lot more time due to the pandemic to be spent on the technical side of things. So I think it's likely that the pencil date is around Christmas this year, so it's Christmas of 2021. But they did say there's a possibility that they'll delay it, as they will run several betas, and they'll test basically functionality of you know, everything in the game, and our feedback will be critical in terms of them deciding on the date. So this is just this is the first step. It's the first step. It's the first beta released, and I mean, so far so good, I can tell you. And also don't forget, Halo is going to be accessible through Xbox and PCs. It will not be accessible through Stadia and PlayStation or Android on the release date. Whether they'll make it accessible at a later stage, I'm not sure. I'll be skeptical, because Halo OS has been tied to Microsoft and Xbox. And VR. What does BR stand for? I apologize. My brain's just not working properly at the moment. If you just tell me what because they're testing also Battle Pass in here, and you have, as you will see, it's automated basically, just testing all the functionalities of the game, you know. There we are. Hey, Halo always has been very exciting for, you know, everyone who enjoyed FPS games. And you can see I'm not that good when it comes to mobile enemies. Sunny would beat me too. very good. 1 star rather than 2. But it's tricky. It does require a bit of time. Well, Battle Royale. Yeah, Battle Royale, well, they're running a multiplayer which is basically a deathmatch, very similar to the Crucible in Destiny, and I'll play it very shortly, you'll be able to see it. But I think there is a possibility for a Battle Royale map to be introduced at a later stage, because they will make multiplayer accessible free of charge in full, right? So very similar to what you have with Apex and with Warzone. Given for free, everyone can access it, but plenty of microtransactions on cosmetics and everything else, you know? So that's the idea. I think Battle Royale is very, very likely. It will be the first Battle Royale in Halo. They've not talked about it much because they want, first of all, to polish up the multiplayer. You know, they want to make sure that multiplayer works perfectly on the tech side of things, which indeed has been of concern with the games of this size, and that's the reason for the delay. So let's see what I can do with another lot of mobile enemies. It's all about speed, it's about the way you master your controller, and the way you can be knocking down all the mobile enemies as fast as possible. Shoot the heads. And this is going to cost me 1 star, you'll see. This reloads. Oh no, I got 2 stars, alright. Let's try another one. Quickly, then we're going to the real thing. Well, they have lots of weapons, and every weapon can be calibrated, and you want to master it. So, you know, for anyone who is a completionist in the beta, they can really crack on for quite some time. In fact, I found that Academy gives me more level than those death matches. It does require a lot of practice, you know, you need to really train yourself kind of thing. Oh, that's good. I got 3 stars, better than yesterday. Well done, Miller, hey? Let's try the last one. So I've done 2 of these with 3 stars. Well, the last one is... oh, Sunny says, I'm gonna eat my junky burger now. Well, I can just tell you, have a nice meal. You know what I'm gonna have? I have roast chicken in here, and it's beautiful. Absolutely top-notch, pristine, high-quality meats, and I have couscous. 6 different salads. That includes potato salad, coleslaw, green salad, peppers, and couscous. So, you know, I'll have a feast as well. A bit later than you, sir. So enjoy your meal, and let's hook up soon. Let's play another game. I'll ping you for Warzone sessions, because at the moment I'm not streaming Warzone, so we can really do it offline if you want. I mean, off my stream, so to speak, and we can have really a lot of fun. Just to say that Sunny is a member of our Warzone community and member of our regiment, and we played lots of games together last year, in the course of the last year or so, and anyone wants to play Warzone, just ping Sunny a message. Sunny's always up for it. Is that right, Sunny? So we have Tonzak, who's our Destiny veteran, and Jaden as well, our friends who were playing Destiny with us for quite a while. So you'll see the last drill is the most difficult, because the enemies are highly mobile, and then they're jumping left to right, so it's very high quality AI. about that technique, you know, how you master your firing. More difficult.
That right there is why I picked you.
Okay. 1 star. Okay, we'll try to get at least 2 stars on that one. Sunny says, always up for it. Absolutely, Sunny. I'll ping you a message. We'll hook up with Spares and maybe with Sekapupu or one of the other guys, and you know, we'll have a bit of fun. Likewise, Sunny. Take care as well, and enjoy the burger. Gonna get 2 stars. I did get 2 stars. Well, let's try to get 3 stars. We'll see. Well, it's tricky. It's very tricky. The AI seems to be very good, and I played against bots there on the multiplayer, which is what I do not like. As you will know from my tests, bots are very deadly. They always know where you are, so you'll see when you get there. Didn't excel, just 1 scar. Alright, so basically that's the drill. That's the drill that you can be mastering here for lots of different weapons, and as you will see, we have weapon drills, pulse carbine, then you have BR75, then you have commando, then you have sidekick, and the weapons just go on and on. So we're not going to be, for the purpose of this presentation, testing all the weapons. I think for people who want to become knowledgeable already on how these weapons perform, they can do that at will, and they'll be able to use the skill later once the game is released, or indeed once we get other betas and demos. I need to say what I forgot to mention earlier, or whatever we do here is saved for the weekend, but it can't be carried over to another test, because we're just testing the accessibility of multiplayer and its functionalities. That's the purpose of the test. So unlike with some other demos like Outriders, for instance, which we also had here on my Twitch channel, you were able to play the first section of the game, and that's the first couple of hours of the game, and you were able to save everything, inclusive of special skills, your achievements, your loot. You could really harvest a lot of good loot if you went through expeditions, and then you would import that completely into the full game once released, and therefore if you were doing it together with other guys, you would have major advantage, because you already had imported all the loot. high quality weapons, high armor, high quality armor, and together with other guys who probably started from scratch, you're able to kind of race to some of the missions. But Outriders has a very good way of leveling up, and it has 15 different difficulty levels. So if you want to be a real master in that sort of FPS, once you get to level 15, believe you me, some of the situations are very difficult and very hairy. And as you come to the level 6, you must not be getting killed, because you're kind of pushing the yellow bar towards the right, and then if you get killed, the XPs are being basically knocked out from the inventory, and you can't be demoted because you reached level 6, but it's very hard to be progressing from level 6 to level 7 and 8 if you're doing it by yourself. So it's quite challenging, and it's a really good concept, and it's a concept that kind of draws other people to come in to do it in a multiplayer. That's the idea. And then you have 2 or 3 people doing it together, and they can all kind of get lots of XPs and carry on. So really good idea. Absolutely love Outriders, and I'm absolutely highly recommending it to everyone. Anyone who is on any platform, get Outriders. I got it for free because it's part and parcel of Game Pass on Xbox. Didn't have to pay a penny, and in the full game, but everything has been available on the release date. But as this is not a Microsoft proprietary, it's likely that people can fly will withdraw the game at some point from the platform, and therefore I will purchase it once that happens. But I want to complete this one. I'm coming towards the very end of the game. I spent on it already. I'm really kind of enjoying it and loving it, so I always want to recommend the very best games to everyone. Obviously not streaming every day allowed me to have a bit more time for the backlog, which was very substantial with the number of games that I really wanted to play, and I certainly can tell you that one of the biggest things that indeed took place during the last couple of months as I wasn't streaming was myself bringing back the experience of just playing a game by myself and having continuity, starting from the beginning and obviously working my way out towards the very end. And that is something you lose if you're a regular streamer, and particularly if you're doing PvP or the games like Destiny or Warzone. You lose that degree of continuity, and it's something that I almost completely forgot about during the last couple of years. So great to have that experience back. Alright, my friends, now we are coming to the pinnacle activity, which is our multiplayer, right? So in this instance, we are going to be having 3 other chaps joining us. These chaps are on PCs or Xboxes, and we are going to be playing against the bots. The bots are very, very difficult, very tricky to eliminate. They're very deadly. They know exactly where you are at all times. As you will see, that is what we are testing here during this weekend. So that's basically going to be concluding our activity here on stream, the stream that was dedicated to Halo Infinite, and most importantly to its technical beta released this weekend. Well, you'll agree with me that the graphics, the visuals look very, very pretty. This is very advanced and looking wonderful on my setup, but looking even better if you're doing it on Xbox Series XS, which I do not have still. I'm not sure whether, although we've seen there, the spaces for our friends to be brought in, I'm not sure whether we could bring in friends to do it together with us. I've not tried it, and I know that some of the multiplayers do not. I mean, some of the betas don't allow that. You have to be playing with the guys who've been slotted in with you. This was the case with Destiny recently. I forgot to mention actually, I was testing Destiny 2 multiplayer and cross-platform access, and therefore I acquired the banner which you would have seen on my Destiny streams, which is very colourful and very bright. We were testing it a few months ago, and the test was lasting a week, I think, and I played it every single day. It was just to do with Vanguard strikes, and Bungie did not allow us to be bringing in our mates. We were testing the random selection of gamers on the strikes who were coming in on different platforms. So I played with people who were on PCs and PlayStations, randomly selected, and then I provided Bungie a very, very generous feedback. Worked very well. There there were no hiccups at all. It was just very, very enjoyable. Which is a bit, I mean, they wanted to test that randomly for obvious reason, because if you're bringing your mates, they'll stay with you, and they wanted as many people as possible to try the cross-platform access. I'll stress again, the full cross-platform access for Destiny 2 is going to be arriving on the 24th of August with the arrival of the new season. Everyone will be able to access it immediately. And most importantly, if you're not keen on cross-platform, you are going to be able to switch it off. So remember that. It will be down to the player preference. Obviously for myself, I will be always having it switched on. Alright, let's have a couple of matches here on the multiplayer, and then we'll wrap it up for today. Looks like we are loading the map. Curious to see what map it is going to be. As this is beta, it is expected, really. We'll get in eventually, so not to worry, really. Zach says that the internet's gone really bad in recent weeks. Yeah, it's been really always bad down here. I don't have fibre. And they're doing nothing about it. I was to get fibre in December, and then due to the pandemic, they just literally decommissioned all the works, and nothing's happened since. I've been asking for it, and always an excuse somewhere. But there we are. It's not the internet connection here, it is the 343 industry service. Because we are testing it, it's quite difficult sometimes to get in if there aren't many enough rooms available. And then you keep getting booted out, that's what is happening. So. No, Tonzak said it's the network. Any betas will always have crashes and all kinds of problems. Because you're testing, you know, it's not like a full... You can see, yet again I'm being booted. I had a few of these problems yesterday, but considering today's Sunday, there are many more people testing it, and I think that's probably causing the problem. Eventually the system will register that I've been queuing up, and then they'll bring me in. Apologise to the viewers, but as this is a beta test, then we just have to remain patient, hope that we are going to be able to get in. For whatever reason, it's just not allowing me to get in.
Slayer.
And we were fortunate. Eventually we were able to get back in.
Earn the most kills, and we win.
See, I got killed by a bot straight away.
Another one down.
See that? One shot to kill. Already. The bots are so dead.
Closing in.
Enemies on.
See where the enemy was. The enemy is bot and in Destiny it's deathmatch, it's a small map.
Stay mobile.
Act one.
Taking fire.
See, they're so dead.
Target throw. Did some damage.
Reloading.
Remote nation.
Shield inbound. Overshield.
Absolutely not.
Enemy halfway to. There. Lois.
Overshield is active.
Take cover.
Getting rubber banding in here, so due to my Twitch stream
Teammate.
and what significant shots. Still not dying. Well, I can tell you. hammer is so deadly. You can actually several enemies at once with it.
Overshield inbound. Overshield available. They're under us.
He's grabbing that hammer all the time. Good for him. I got him.
Enemy team nearing victory. Up the grapple. 5 minutes rem.
He's stronger than me.
Drop wall obtained.
How long it takes for him to be eliminated. More than one magazine.
Spartan's closing in. Spartan down.
Yeah, I hit him twice. Didn't do anything.
Feed.
That's funny. We lost today, but yesterday I was every match was a victory. Today it seems like a story. We'll do another video. Let me go today. One challenge completed. Your magazine last round. Keep finding enemies with assault rifles. Yeah, it's the same sort of problem. For assault, it's a bit laggy. It's a bit rubber bandy. More so for myself because I'm streaming at the moment, and these betas always require absolutely top-notch speeds, and in an area we don't have fiber, so it's very, very hard to do anything with it. But I'm just giving you this as a taster of what maps we are getting from 343 Industries and Halo Infinite, and just to get a bit of a flavour of what is to follow. That's the idea behind this test, because I tested this yesterday and got enough information for my 343 Industry feedback, and don't have to really worry about it anymore. Let's hope it's another map.
Slayer.
Bizarre. Been here yesterday, so that's good.
Move fast and kill faster. Throwing a threat sensor. Enemies on.
Well, this is very rubber banded, much worse than the other one.
Down there. They're close.
Enemies on me! Watch my back! Lead.
They're under us.
Well, it's annoying because my melee doesn't do anything. It just looks at me and I'm gone. Very annoying.
Over yonder.
So I have killed, I was able to limit the notion, should have been lasting me a lot longer. Yeah, it's always you get a taster, but it's all kinds of speed and I'm so you can see there's a rubber band a bit.
Overshield.
Like grenades and rubber swords, which is annoying.
Tagged one.
Another one down! Enemies on me!
Over there.
It's a sniper or something. It's a sniper. Look at that. He melee him, didn't suffer any damage, and
Grenade out.
Taking fire! Taking fire.
I can get it. Might get it very nice. Okay, this map's very similar to
Picked up.
Crucible.
Spike grenades acquired. Shield inbound.
The other one I had.
Taking damage. Tagged.
Watch my. Overshade.
Tagged one. Gained the lead.
Donzak's asking about friendly fire. I'm not sure. He was taking damage, but made it long enough to tell. I think
Down
it's
there!
just you know,
Over there!
it's
Hostiles
just
in
a
sight!
test. Just a test.
Taking
I
damage!
picked up the grapple shot.
No idea where it was.
Shields are down.
Power items on the field!
You see how deadly these rockets are. Hey, just look at me, I'm dead. The speed here is absolutely rigged. Not just for themselves, but the other guys, because I've seen them using melee deployments.
Enemies hurt!
Bots are not taking it. So this did manage to hit me, it was nothing. Good grapple, it's very similar to we have in Destiny 2.
5 minutes remaining.
Enemies on me.
And I didn't get it.
Spike up tank!
Someone else going.
Taking fire. Lost a teammate. Taking damage.
Taking damage!
Yes. Honestly, it's melee and
Target.
half mag. Should have been done.
Taking damage.
Warp speed issues.
Power items inbound.
I can't believe how fast the robots are. They jump now so fast.
Threat sector found.
Tight, 35, 36.
Enemies on me.
They're under us!
Bots are too powerful, that's the fact. You know, they're too
Over there,
fast and too
hostiles.
powerful.
Taking fire!
The only way they get hit is if
Tank. Taking fire.
Nearing victory.
unwinnable, I'm afraid, in this situation. That lag and speed issues. But it's still a good taster. I mean, we're getting a very good experience of
Power
what,
items on the way!
the multiplayer will be offering.
Another one
I
down.
think it's definitely highly enjoyable, like death matches. It's more tactical, but
Available!
Enemies hurt.
compared to all the other maps. Well, it's so rapid as well. I can hear him firing pistols like 50 rounds in a second. reason for that is that, you know, the 343 industry servers, they're on the highest possible speed, 1,000 upload. We are coming in from all sorts of countries with different types of speeds, and this is the reason as to why they're so fast. And
Spike grenades acquired.
so he's just avoiding grenades completely. Killed it. Looks like our team's winning. Surprise, surprise. Not that.
1 minute remaining. Victory.
Oh, we won. I didn't get a single kill in here. So if it pops up like that, I was able to get a kill, it's just completely wrong. I didn't get a single kill, it's new. What's that? So it didn't register properly. Should have registered as I played 2 matches. Registered just like 1. Should have been 2. 2 kills. I didn't get any kills. Just completely wrong. 5 assists, 21 deaths. Alright, my friends. That was my introduction of Halo Infinite's technical test beta that was offered to us this weekend. And as you've seen, we talked quite a lot about the game, about all the niceties that Halo Infinite is going to provide us with, and we had a look at the Academy. We did 2 maps, and I have to say it's been very, very difficult to get in due to the overload that the servers are having at the moment this Sunday afternoon. No point of us just waiting here indefinitely. We had a good taster, a good idea of what this game is going to be providing us with later in the year, and hope you enjoyed. All that's been said, I want to thank Tomzak, and want to thank Sunny and Jaden and all the other friends who popped in and said hello. I'm sure that other people also watching the playback to see everyone still here with us on Twitch. So this was just like a one-off presentation of Halo Infinite. It's access. We'll carry on with other podcasts later in the month, and I'm looking forward to Destiny 2 cross-platform access on the 24th, and we'll have a lot more Destiny there. So in the meantime, I may be introducing some other games and maybe playing some of the stuff here live online, maybe a bit of Outriders, maybe a bit of Warzone, we'll see. Or just Destiny still with our Xbox or PlayStation gamers on separate platforms. We'll see, we'll decide, and I'm enjoying my summer break with lots of gameplay outside of my Twitch broadcasts, and the games I currently entertained were Empire of Sin, Outriders 2, and what was the other one? Gun. Suddenly I can't remember it. Witcher 2, of course. Witcher 2. A wonderful, wonderful game released on Xbox 360, and highly recommend it to everyone. So, my friends, thank you for watching, thank you for supporting my channel, thank you for being our dedicated community members. On this note, I shall just wish you all a very, very good afternoon. And Tonzak also said, I feel also that the players bought a reel in the game. Don't take momentum into account. Directional changes are immediate with no wait. Cool. Yeah, I think basically my comments on the multiplayer are that it is troubled. You know, it has problems with speed, and basically the bots are massively accelerated, as you've seen with the jumps. They're so much faster than the rest of us because they use the fastest possible speed, and with the rest of us we were like really slow, and obviously, considering I'm streaming, I don't have fiber. I'm even slower than some of the other guys. But the speed issues are always part and parcel of beta tests. They just want to see how everything gelled, whether people liked the concept, what the overall experience was. And I think that's exactly what I'll send to 343 Industries. A nice survey, a nice feedback, expressing some concerns about speed, but also being quite pleased with customization and academy, the overall design, the visuals and everything else. In fact, yesterday there were some leaks, and there was information on Twitter indicating that there were some gamers who were accessing campaign missions. I'm not sure where and how they were able to do that, but it does seem to happen recently with these betas that there's always a leak and there's always somebody who's able to access the content which is in fact not as yet accessible, even prohibited. Not sure whether this is true or just a rumor spreading, but I think so far so good. I'm very excited about Halo Infinite. I really look forward to its release, and I think on that note I will wish you all a very, very good afternoon. I'll see you all soon. Take care.